Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers, and this morning I'm looking at a new edition of a book we've reviewed before. It's on statutory nuisance and it's from Bloomsbury Professional. It's now in a third edition and it's written by Robert McCracken, Queen's Counsel, Gregory Jones, Queen's Counsel, and James Pereira. It's this book here. It's a heavy book now. It's become quite expanded. That's the spine. There's the back cover. Rather a nice picture on the front which gives you an idea of some of the problems that one has in this area of law. There's a very good index at the back, quite detailed, which is what you'd expect. One thing that is noteworthy and I think extremely helpful is that halfway through the book you then get to the appendices, of which there are quite a large number, and obviously it covers everything you're looking for. Particular interest are human rights, which figures a lot these days. Material relating to sentencing and costs, always an important factor, and actual materials relating to statutory nuisance itself. The book is very much part of the Bloomsbury stable. You've got paragraph numbering, which is very useful at the sides to find what you're looking for, and each chapter heading starts off with a useful introduction. Do read the information at the beginning, because the introduction to the third edition is written by Mr. Justice Lightbloom, who is one of their colleagues and extremely helpful with some of the comments that he makes. We've written a review on the web. My wife and I have given it the title, "For Lay Readers and Lawyers Alike, the Authoritative Work of Reference on Statutory Nuisance," and that's exactly what it is. And as I say, it's expanded a bit since we had the original work. What is a nuisance? What isn't a nuisance? As illustrated graphically on the cover of this now well-established and definitive guide to the subject, there are plenty of nuisances around, as we all know. That's from howling dogs to killer-driller roadworks operatives. Nuisances can be the bane of urban life in particular. But however nuisance is defined, where does the law stand on it and its related issues? Now in the new edition from Bloomsbury, this book provides what has become the definitive and authoritative guide to what is a complex and often vexed area of law. Mr. Justice Lightbloom notes in the foreword, quote, "The law in this field has become complex, at least in its application." So if you're involved with or connected in any capacity with nuisance, you would do well in our view to acquire this book. Not only is it user friendly as a guide, it also gives you primary materials which you need when you're actually dealing with this area of law. As Lightbloom goes on to say, a book with practical considerations at its heart. He adds that judges have found this book useful and have cited the views expressed in its two earlier editions. Well, that's very good for Robert and his team, so well done. Thank you very much, because it is a very good book indeed. The new edition presents and examines lucidly and in depth all recent relevant case law and legislation pertaining to nuisance, including the Equality Act 2010, the Criminal Procedure Rules 2011, and recent Court of Appeal decisions. That's the new civil procedures for abatement notice appeals, and of course much more. And nuisance can, of course, and does impact severely on everyday life. So this practical and clearly written work will be of interest not merely to legal practitioners, but to a much wider public, as well as professionals, those advising and so forth, local government officials, environmental health officers, community groups and so forth. Over 700 pages in total now, with the appendices, so the book's also a treasure trove of avenues for further research if that's an area you're particularly interested in. I'd like to thank the three authors very much indeed for the new edition, and to Bloomsbury for producing it. Bye bye.